I know the name of this chapter is Nami, but I think everyone's gonna be thinking of it as Enter Nami. One Piece, Chapter 8, Nami Enters, begins with our heroes Luffy and Zoro out at sea. They're not happy with each other. Honeymoon phase is over. Why? Because they are starving and they are lost. Not that that's a surprise, because if you're going to starve when you're lost, that's the time to do it. So they're lying down looking up into sky, and Luffy notices a bird and he decides he wants to eat it. So he uses the Gum Gum rocket to shoot himself up at said bird. Now what amazes me here is how one bodily need, such as the need to eat, will overpower completely another bodily need, such as not to be up in the air, falling into the sea, and drowning. So he catches the bird, fine. But here's my issue. Here's my problem. Here's the thing that bothers me. Instead of trying to kill the bird, which is what people traditionally do when they want to eat an animal, he just takes a bite. He's so hungry he cannot wait to kill the bird. He just takes a bite. He's basically a lion cub. Bird doesn't like it, takes off. Unluckily, Luffy's got a strong grip, and so the bird takes off with Luffy. Zoro's freaking out, so he rolls the boat like crazy. I mean, he would be able to give Scrooge McDuck a run for his money. And as Zoro's chasing after Luffy, there's three men bobbing in the sea. They call out to Zoro, please stop, can you save us? Zoro can't stop. He lets them know. But because he's a nice guy, he goes close to them so they can jump on. And they do, and they manage to climb. Zoro's like, yeah, you guys are good climbers, but he keeps on going. So as he's chasing after Luffy, the men pull out their blades and they're like, you know, this is a territory of Captain Buggy. Stop this boat. Not sure how much of a threat they're going to be because they're unnamed. I was right. Next time we see them, they're bruised, black eyes, and they're rowing the boat for Zoro, who's, you know, not resting, but he's sitting down watching them. And they apologize because they didn't know it was Zoro. Not because of what they did, but who they did it to. See, One Piece is very well fixated on who it is and not what it is that's done. So they're rowing the boat for Zoro because I'm sure it was either that or, you know, swim. And Zoro asks, well, what happened? Why are you guys like that? Why were you guys, you know, just floundering in the water? So they explained that after a successful raid on another ship, they saw a woman in trouble. And she was a pretty woman. And I'm sure this was important because if not, they would have just left her. And so when they go to investigate, she's real happy. She's like, thank you for saving me. You know, please, just some bread and water. Thank you, please. And she offers them their treasure, her treasure. And so they're like, yeah, sure. And they didn't even give her actually bread or water. It just shows them jumping to take the treasure. So, you know, these aren't trustworthy pirates. Which makes me feel better for what happens next because the girl, I'm assuming her name is Nami, takes the boat. And there she goes. And while the men are, you know, they're complaining and they're, you know, waving their fist in the air like tradition dictates, Nami's looking back at them and she says, there's a storm coming. And, you know, she points out all these little things that's going to equal a storm and it's going to destroy the boat. Sure enough, the clouds swirl over that exact area, destroy the boat. How crazy is the weather in One Piece? Because literally like maybe not even a minute before, Luffy and Zoro, who were nearby, by the way, they were not, you know, far off or anything like that, are looking at the sky and it's perfectly clear. Like there's maybe 2 or 3 clouds in sight. Zoro wonders if someone like that, capable of predicting the weather, will join their crew. Doesn't matter that she just, you know, backstabbed and tricked these men who might have been, you know, willing to save her. But she's got an interesting ability, so, you know, it could come in handy for the crew. Pirates tell him that, you know, she's in trouble, they're in trouble because they're under Captain Buggy, who they claim has a devil fruit and is a really strong guy. Next thing we see is Nami running from a group of men, pirates, all armed, yelling for her to stop. Why they're wasting their breath with this, I don't know. If you were running from somebody with weapon and you did something wrong, you wouldn't stop. I wouldn't. So, you know, she clung onto that paper and she just hauled ass. And at the same time this is happening, we see through the binoculars and there's a bird with somebody but they don't know what it is because they just know they just say it's a strange thing. And Captain Buggy, who looks like a clown, orders it shot down. So they shoot it down, and luckily there's an explosion right by Nami. Everybody stops to see what's going on because apparently if there's an explosion, people stop to see what's going on in this world. I'd run. I'd be like, I have no curiosity about destruction, and if there's police cars gathered in an area, I will go a different way. If there's smoke, I will go a different way. So they stop to see what's going on, and then when the rubble clears, Luffy's like, damn, they shot me out of the sky. Nami, not missing a beat, says, boss, you're alive. These men are bothering me. I'll leave it up to you. And she takes off. And so the men, I know pirate underlings, any kind of underling in any series aren't necessarily smart. But you would think at least one of them would have figured, wait a minute, we're chasing her, and some random dude some random guy shows up, and she's like, this is my boss, he's gonna fight my battles for me. Isn't it a little weird that an underling would leave a boss to clean up their mess? No, this never occurred to the men. So they attack Luffy. The man survived an explosion or a fall big enough to send rubble into the air without any damage, and you're going to take a swing at him. He hits Luffy's cap, which turns out to be a mistake, and Luffy gets pissed, takes them all out, warns them not to mess with his treasure. Chapter ends with Nami introducing herself as the thief who only steals from pirates. Okay, so I'm sure there's a reason why Nami only steals from pirates, but I can't imagine it being a logical one. Like, if you're gonna steal from a group of people, why steal from the ones who they have to be capable of fighting back in order to make a living from themselves? Now, I'm not saying there's any group you can justify stealing from, but if you were going to steal from just one group of people, Marines, villagers, whatever, who would it be and how would you justify